if you have something special to do, life will move on you. If it were not for life, I would still be a disc jockey. I didn't just leave voluntarily to go to the state legislature. I was fired. I was working on a job, and I came home one day. I was married at the time, and I told my former wife, I said, that guy Bert I work for is stupid. She said, if he's so stupid, why does he sign you a paycheck? Now, you see why I divorced her, right? I couldn't stand her. That night, I could not sleep well. Here was a guy that was controlling my life. I was going through all kinds of changes because this man controlled my paycheck. And it was Carlyle who said, truth crushed to earth shall rise again. Winston Churchill said, the truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but at the end there it is. And we know scripture that says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And the truth that I had to come to grips with, that I wasn't in charge of my destiny. The truth was that I wasn't giving all that I had. The truth was that there are some things that I wanted to do, but I didn't have the courage to act on those things. And the truth was that Bert Childs was a blessing to me. He made life so miserable for me, I had to start looking at my life differently. I started going to work earlier. I started being the last one to leave there. I started working harder than anybody else. The other guys could not. Why would you work so hard, Les? I said, I'm not working for them. I have been cheating, Bert, I thought. I've been cheating myself and my family. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do it with everything that you have. Develop the habit of giving more than what you're paid for. Develop the habit of setting standards that others will be measured by. Someone said, do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail.
The moments when you get knocked down and you're wondering whether it's even worth it to get back up. See, those are the times when you've got to ask yourself, who am I going to be? And I want to be clear, this isn't just some vague platitude about building character. In recent years, we've actually been seeing a growing body of research that shows that skills like resilience and conscientiousness can be just as important to your success as your test scores or even your IQ. For instance, West Point cadets who scored high on things like grit and determination were more likely to complete basic training than those who ranked high on things like class rank, SAT scores, and physical fitness. So what we're seeing is that if you're willing to dig deep, if you're willing to pick yourself up when you fall, if you're willing to work and work until your weaknesses become your strengths, then you'll develop a set of skills that you can mold and apply to any situation you encounter, any job you might have, any crisis you might confront. But you got to make that choice. Who are you going to be? So graduates, think about how this will apply to your own lives in the future. As you move on, you're going to come across all kinds of people from all different places and faiths and walks of life. And you can choose to pass them by without a word, or you can choose to reach out to them, no matter who they are or where they come from or what ideas they might have, embracing the diversity of experience and opinion that surrounds us everywhere we go. So I encourage you all, seek it out. Don't just spend time with people your own age. You would be amazed at the wisdom they have to offer. If you're a Democrat, spend some time talking to a Republican. And if you're a Republican, have a chat with a Democrat. Maybe you'll find some common ground, maybe you won't. But if you honestly engage with an open mind and an open heart, I guarantee you will learn something. And goodness knows, we need more of that. Because we know what happens when we only talk to people who think like we do. We just get more stuck in our ways. You can get past all that. You've got the freedom of an open mind. And thanks to today's technology, you're connected to each other and to the world like never before. So you can either choose to use those opportunities to continue fighting the fights that we've been locked in for decades, or you can choose to reject those old divisions and embrace folks with a different point of view. And if you do that, The latter, who knows where it might take you? And let me just share just a little secret before I end. As someone who has hired and managed hundreds of young people over the course of my career, the answers to those questions, believe me, are far more important than you can ever imagine. Whether it was during my time as a lawyer, as an administrator, as a university, a nonprofit manager, even now as First Lady, I have never once asked someone I was interviewing to explain a test score or a grade in a class. Never. I have never once made a hire just because someone went to an Ivy League school instead of a state school. Never. What I have looked for is what kind of person you are.
It is easy to be negative today. It is easy to have low morale today. I was at a corporation and they're going through downsizing and going to lay off some 1,500 people over the next few weeks. It's very depressing there. And those people that stay there 9 times out of 10, they're just going to do just enough to keep from getting fired. Anybody can do that. But if you can begin to harness yourself and say that where I am, I'm going to do the best I can with what I got, because that is an expression of who I am. If you get into the habit of just being mediocre, it will become a part of your consciousness. If you get in the habit of giving less than what you have it within you to give, it will begin to reflect itself in your personality. It will begin to damage you psychologically. And you don't want to be a part of that kind of self-destructive behavior. And so you want to set some high standards for yourself. The next thing, part of what feeds that hunger, you've got to develop a sense of urgency. Aurelia said, stop living your life like you have 1,000 years to live. In life, you're either here today and you're gone today. If there's something that you want to do and you can't do it all at one time, do just a little bit of it. I like what Robert Schuller says. He said, by the yard it's hard, but inch by inch, anything is a cinch. Do just a little bit of it. A friend of mine, Bobby Kerr, used to be a roommate. Bobby wanted to go into the area of public relations. He loved working with the public. Young lady he wanted to marry named Clarice. Bobby was a great procrastinator. Pretty soon, the job where Bobby worked, they transferred him to another location. He went out to celebrate with the people on that new job site. And Bobby suffered a massive heart attack and died. Bobby didn't drink and didn't smoke, was under 40, and he died. Ask your question, how much time do you have left? How much time do you have left? When you start thinking about that, we don't know. We don't know. Bobby took all the greatness and all of the talent and all of his abilities to his grave with him. One of the things he could have put in parentheses under his name, he didn't use all his stuff. And most of us do that. Most of us don't use the stuff that we have brought into the universe. And we want to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to start living life with a sense of urgency and using what we've got, using ourselves up, sharing what we brought into the universe to share. Because if we don't, nobody else will.
Many of you have great things ahead of you. Many of you have big things coming in your life. But the enemy would love to chain you and stop your feet from going forward. Stop your life from moving out into the unknown by 2 chains. The chain of fear and the chain of doubt. Fear that says, you can't go where you're supposed to go. You can't do what you need to do. You don't have what it takes. The fear of someone, of what someone might say, of what someone might think. You might fail. You might get laughed at. What if you don't have it? What if you're not good enough? What if you're not smart enough? The fear, the chain of fear, and its twin is the chain of doubt. Not just doubting if God will help you, because that's what the enemy loves to do. Question and make you doubt, is God for me? Is God on my side? And if he can't get you to doubt that, one of the biggest ways the enemy will keep you bound is to make you doubt your own ability, your own giftedness, your own call, your own talent. Maybe you doubt if you're good enough. You doubt if you've got it. You doubt if you're talented enough or smart enough or good looking enough, all those things, the enemy can put chains on us to say, you just don't have what it takes. And the chain of fear on one part of you and the chain of doubt on the other side of you. I doubt it's going to happen. I doubt I can make it. I've come today to remind you that the Bible declares God has not given you the spirit of fear, of intimidation, of timidity, of being afraid and backing up. If there's an opportunity that God wants to bring into your life, don't you dare let the chain of fear and the chain of doubt hold you back from God's very best for your life. Shake off the chain of fear. Shake off the chain of doubt. There are miracles in your future. Get your hands free. Get your voice free. Get your feet free. Shake off the twin chains of fear and doubt. If the enemy can't hold him with that, if somehow miraculously, it seemed there was no way to get out of that. But if he did, then he had two guards on either side. I believe those guards one of them represents discouragement, because you're going to encounter those guards on the journey to your dream. You're going to have to confront your fear. You're going to have to overcome your doubt. And you're going to have to break free from those chains. But as soon as you do, there will be a guard who will stand, and his name is discouragement, and another guard on the other side called intimidation. And they'll do everything they can to try to talk you out of and beat you down and cause you to stay down. You see, the enemy wants to stop you and keep you and block you from being free. And he'll use discouragement, and he'll use the guard of intimidation. He'll use the chain of fear. He'll use the chain of doubt, even self-doubt, to hold you in the place, the dark place, the limited place that life has put you in. I want you to understand today that the enemy of your soul is guarding the gate. And he says you're not going to go further. And if somehow you could shake the chain of fear and the chain of doubt, and you could somehow overcome the intimidation and the discouragement, then the enemy would have closed doors. And he would say, those doors will never open for you. Those doors that you need to finances and so on to your dream, they'll never open for you. So you might as well just get settled right where you are.